So, do we really think pushing gender ideology on children is smart? Because I don't. I think it would just confuse the crap out of children. I remember growing up as a child, confused, lost, and if I had all this gender ideology BS thrown in my face, I would probably be even more confused. I probably would have been forced into an early transition and never had dealt with all my personal problems or personal trauma. And that is what is starting to happen in society. This gender ideology should not be taught in schools. You're free to teach it at home if that's what you would like to do, but it should not be pushed or taught in schools to children. It's just more confusing. And if you can't think back to when you were a kid and how if you were being taught all this stuff that you would just be even more confused, in a way we're splitting up society even more. We're forcing children to put themselves. Sorry, I'm outside and live near a major freeway. We're forcing children into boxes and labels and telling them that they won't fit into society unless they pick one of these boxes to fit into. Unfortunately, kids, since the beginning of time, only know of the binary. They're taught the binary. They only know about their mom and dad and stuff like that. I'm not saying you can't teach different things at home, but this stuff should not be taught in the school system. We don't need to confuse children. Children don't need to be trans. They don't need to be transitioning. If they really are trans, cool, let them social transition. But letting a medical transition is bullshit. Pushing this gender ideology is bullshit. I just think it's crazy. And I think if people really sat back and thought about what we are pushing on children, it's just insane. We need to let kids be kids. Let them be imaginative. Let them grow into their own skin. Let them do what they want to do, but don't force labels or boxes onto them. And don't give them an unlimited amount of possibilities of boxes and tell them that they need to pick one to fit into. Because that is just very confusing for children. Please stop. It's just ridiculous. This push is ridiculous, and I don't understand it. And in some ways, it kind of seems like they're just underlyingly pushing a heteronormative society, forcing dysphoric children to into a trans lifestyle, when most likely the statistics show that most dysphoric children end up either gay or lesbian or have a sexuality, they have a different sexuality. It's usually not about gender. So please think about this. Do your research. If you're a parent and you have kids going into school, contact your school before school starts. Find out what the curriculum is. Find out what they are teaching your child so you know ahead of time to be prepared for this. Because I know a lot of us are not okay with this. It is just too much. We don't need to push gender ideology on children. We just don't.